Okay, the full moon may have already happened last night, but it is at this point moving forward when we start to see and feel the energy shift, when the themes of that full lunation come into play. So, what I'm going to share with you is a 3 card pull that I did and share with you a little bit more of like what I've been feeling in the reflections and downloads I've been having around this lunation. Now it went down last night about 9:36 ish Eastern time, and full moon in Pisces, right? And so we're dancing with the polarities and the duality of the Pisces Virgo energies. Yes, it was a super moon, blue moon, intensified, tons of retrogrades going on. Yes, but I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something right now. This energy of the lunation that just happened is an intensified sort of energy, intense energy, um, really supporting us. It's very empowering. It's very, very empowering. I'm telling you, if you're feeling a little like, oh, like right now, ride the waves, baby. Ride the waves, because on the other side of it, when you come up to the shore, when that Virgo energy tends to help you kind of come up to the shore and kind of ground and root and figure out, like, oh my God, what does this all mean and how can I apply this into my life? You're going to be very thankful that you rode the waves. Let me get into these cards that I pulled now. I have a podcast. It's called Cafecito and Tarot. You're more than welcome to listen to it on any of your like platforms that you listen to podcasts. And so I talked about this on the podcast. There were these 3 cards, and then I pulled an oracle card from one of my favorite oracle decks, the Earthcraft Oracle deck. It's right here. But listen to this. Listen, listen, listen. Let me show you, okay? Are you ready? Let me show you. Here we go. The 3 cards that I pulled, I also want to read to you something that I wrote on the Instagram. On the Instagram. I sound like a 51-year-old. Oh, wait, I am 51. On the Instagram. Okay. Let me show you the 3 cards that I had pulled. And I pulled these the day before the full moon. I pulled the 8 of Wands, the 3 of Cups, and the 10 of Wands. Now I'm telling you once again, just because the lunation happened last night doesn't mean these energies aren't still in effect and in our lives, right? Because this is the thing. Let me say this real briefly. Hear me out. Hear me out. We put so much emphasis on so much energy. There's so much information. There's so much out there around coming up into the actual lunation, right? Then the lunation happens. And so many people think that, okay, I got to prepare for it. And then the lunation happens and then it's all over. When in fact, what happens is during the time of the full moon, it's where it's more rituals of rest and receiving and respite and just kind of being, right? You know, very, very embodied sort of ways of just taking it in. And then after the grandmother moon has been in her fullest, brightest glory, that's when a lot of the closure and a lot of the release happens. It doesn't happen right at the time of the lunation. It starts to happen afterwards. And that's why a lot of people will say during the full moon, ways of being either in communion or rituals and ceremonies that have more flow and ease and aren't so forceful and kind of like logical and heady. It's just like where you just bask and it's enough to be in tune with your breath. Okay, so you feel me out, because now is when it really starts to get real. I'm telling you. So those 3 cards that I pulled, this is the energy. This full lunation, what has happened from this lunation is there's a remembrance. So much is coming up to the surface. You're going to remember so much, not only of this lifetime, but there's going to be a remembrance of a like ancestral knowing and ways of either, if you believe, past lives, but somehow a deeper psychic connection that is happening. I'm telling you, because think about that Pisces energy, the underworld of the sea, water connected to our, not only our bodies and our emotions, but water as a conduit for energy, right? It's such a psychic. Pisces is like one of the most psychic, dreamy signs. Okay, so listen, okay? Listen. Our remembrance, things coming up to the surface. So you might even remember too, like, oh, I used to love to do fill in the blank. I lost my way with that. I'm ready to come back to things that bring me joy, that I really love. There's a remembrance, and the remembrance may be of a dream that you once had to do XYZ, fill in the blank. And they're like, why did I let go of that dream? Why did I let go of that vision? Why did I let go of that possibility? There's so much remembrance that's coming up, and it really has to do with the way of us remembering our brilliance and remembering how connected we are to spirit, how connected we are to nature, to the earth, to the cosmos, to everything. This deep, deep, deep remembrance. Now I'm going to tell you something. The beauty of this duality between the Pisces and Virgo, that polarity, the duality polarity, is that as things start to come to the surface and we begin to remember, this energy, this Virgo energy, will support us in being able to integrate, to understand, and get a deeper, deeper, deeper knowing in our bodies of how we can put these things into play in the mundane. So it's like a beautiful, beautiful dance between the magical and the mundane. And so be prepared, especially coming into Libra season. There is going to be fast movement. Like things are going to start to change. It may feel like these next 2 weeks are like almost in slow motion, like raw, like that kind of slow motion, right? You know, you're going to feel like they're kind of slow. It's kind of like, wait a minute, whoa, what's going on? What's because you're integrating, you're taking in, right? All this has been released, and then you're starting to like understand stuff. You're starting to hear spirit. You're starting to hear your own heart, your own soul. You're starting to, it's like all of a sudden you got like these spider senses, like Spider-Man senses, like all of a sudden you're like, whoa, right? And then bada bing, bada boom, it's going to start making sense and things are going to start moving. Now, what's also coming up for you, for us, because this is, we're all in this together, right? If we so choose, right? Connections. Be really aware of just who starts to come into your life. And there is the veil was lifted. So also be aware of the connection you can hear and feel from spirit. But connections in the mundane as well. It's almost as if you've met new guides, or your guides have been there all along, but you haven't been able to hear them, and they're all of a sudden starting to speak louder and clearer, and you're like, oh my gosh, and you're going to start to see signs, feathers, pennies, numbers showing up, all different ways. The songs and the radios are going to give you signs. Okay, so I want you to pay attention to that, but also pay attention to the connections that are going to start to happen. And it's like we are clearing so much, and so much is remembering. I think there's a deep remembrance for us in regards to our relationships. So be very aware of who starts to come into your life, and also who slowly moves away from you, moves out of your life. So there's that, those themes are coming up a lot, because this lunation has offered us the gift for us to be able to have this clarity around what it is that we no longer need to be carrying. So many times we carry things that aren't even ours to carry. So you're going to start to feel like, I don't need to hold that any longer. I don't need to carry this all myself, right? And that's where that 3 of Cups also comes in. It's like, wait a minute, I have community. I can come into community. I can find community, whether they be in the physical or whether they be in the spirit world, right? Letting go of things that you do not have to carry anymore because they're not yours to carry. And there's a level of support that's going to be coming into your life. But there was a process of being able to have that remembrance and release. Do you feel me? The remembrance and the release. Let me read to you what I wrote on Instagram. Oh, I forgot to tell you. I did pull an oracle card. Remember I told you about the Earthcraft Oracle? Fascinating enough, it was Spirit of the North. And that energy was all about how to find magic in the mundane. Isn't that fascinating? Because that was what I was feeling so much. And I think that's what that polarity of that Pisces Virgo energy is the magical and the mundane. And the spirit of the north is like, you're going to start to have this energy where you're going to realize, total Virgo vibes, realize how to bring things into practicality, how to be pragmatic, and the magic and practicality and pragmatism, I don't know if that's the word. So it's very, very interesting. I think in these next 2 weeks, it's a beautiful alchemy of magic and mundane, and being able to see, like, how can I make things happen? How can I bring more of fill in the blank into my life? How can I take the steps and take the actions and really begin to understand it? And so it's not necessarily like we're going to be boom. It's not like Mars energy, like take off, right? But rather an understanding and total embodiment. I'm telling you, this is really, really, really an intense time. It's beautiful, and it's absolutely beautiful, intense time. Make sure you're drinking enough water. Make sure you're finding ways to stretch your body. That's the biggest message I keep on feeling to tell folks is stretch. Allow yourself to stay in positions of stretching and not aim like, oh, I'm going to do it like in a race or like that, but just see if you can stretch a little bit more gently, right? So stretching, that's what I keep hearing. Let me read to you what I wrote on the IG. So I wrote this on the IG, and this is this. You are ready to release what no longer is yours to carry. Your dreams and visions will be intensified in the next days. The veil is lifted. You hear that? I had a little sound of the veil is lifted. You are remembering who you are and why you are here in this world. The tides in your body are bringing to surface medicine that has been brewing. In the depths of your personal sea of emotions and experiences, the supermoon is activating and awakening your inner mystic. Release and receive. Let me say that one more time for you. Release and receive. Release and receive. In these upcoming days, patience, grace, and gratitude. Stretch, write, dance, move, and know you are divine. You are always on purpose. You are always on purpose. So much is going to be so clear to you, and I cannot wait to see what you do, what you create, and how you continue to evolve. I just can't wait. I can't wait to hear from you, to see like what's going on in your world. But this is intense. And the biggest thing, remember, let go of what is not yours. Don't carry anymore of what is not yours to carry. With that, I'm going to say cheers. Take it easy, my friend. Take it easy. And I will be in touch. Peace, love, and everything in between.